Did you ever have an epiphany that just totally put your language learning into perspective and instantly took a huge weight off your shoulders and made life so much easier? Well, dear viewer, I did. And today I want to tell you about what happens when you realize that fluency is not always the target. Now, Tom, you are so being stupid here. Like, surely we learn languages to become fluent. What is the point of spending hours and hours studying French if your end goal is not to be fluent? Well, hypothetical me, for the purposes of this argument, I understand where you're coming from, but I do not agree. Because very recently, I realized that I actually don't want to be fluent in French. Now, don't get me wrong, j'adore le français and I really enjoy speaking it. But I do not live in France. I only know one French person who I hang out with regularly. The last time I was in a French-speaking country, I actually spent the whole time speaking Dutch. So why was I dedicating so much time in my brain to being worried about my French level? Why was I so scared about leaving it behind and not focusing on it enough? The only answer I could come up with was that it was affecting my honor as a language learner, because I had this inbuilt assumption that to be a language learner means that you are on the path to fluency. And I didn't feel like I was on that path anymore. And I realized that this mindset was completely detached from the qualitative goals, the ideas I had in my head of what speaking French was like. Because for me, speaking French is just being able to watch a French film without English subtitles, to be on the metro in Paris and delight in being able to overhear snippets of conversation. And when I thought about it this way, it took such a pressure off, because I realized that not one of those things that I've just described actually require me to be fluent. And I realized that if I wanted to embrace that and own it, then that would be completely fine. In fact, je m'appelle Tom et je voudrais avoir seulement au niveau de bien en français. Now, I'm using French as my main example here, but I did this same exercise for all of my other languages. And in fact, the only one of my 4 foreign languages that I really want to focus on right now and push to a level of fluency is Italian. But a bonus of this method is that it also works equally well for future languages. I've been pondering some ideas about what I might want to do next, and something that's been really helpful is to think, well, what would I actually want to be able to do with that language? For example, Arabic, I think it would be incredible to learn, but if you think about fluency, that's a really big thing. But actually, I think I would be over the moon with a strong A2. So suddenly that feels like a much easier task, and certainly one that is far easier to plan and less stressful. So I feel like this approach of working backwards from more subjective goals is a great way to set your actual more specific, A1 to C2 goals. So I want to challenge you, dear viewer, to look at the languages that you have on your plate and just have a think, just decide, do I really need the pressure of fluency in order to meet the goals that I have for these languages? Try to think of what you want to achieve as like little vignettes from your future life. For example, like me, maybe you want to be able to understand snippets of overheard conversation on the metro. Maybe you want to be able to make small talk in bars with the waiter or something like that. That's like a B1 or B2 kind of thing. So in the comments below this video, I want to see you telling me all the languages that you care about, what level you're aiming for and why. I really cannot wait to read them. I think this is going to be a really interesting discussion, so scroll down there and take part. In fact, if this kicks off, I feel like we should do like a weekly, conversation starter, discussion Monday kind of video. What do you think, guys? More catchy title will be required, obviously, but I think it's got legs. Anyway, I hope that was some food for thought. If you're new around here, by the way, then welcome, hi. Remember to subscribe before you go, because there's new language content every week, including potentially Conversation Starter Monday videos. But until next time, I'm Tom. Je voudrais avoir seulement un niveau de bien en français. Ciao.